Our coverage continues now on cable. General Jack Keane joins us here.
General, thank you so much. So the President Biden on his, in the last few hours of his presidency, makes this announcement saying that we can be glad of the fact that we have some hostages home and that the deal, at least right now, is holding.
Yeah. And the reality is this deal would not have happened without President Trump and Witkoff. And the reason why I know that is you're talking to my Israeli sources, they said, General, Witkoff came in here and really laid the law down here. This had to get done. And he suggested some things that would help do that. And the reason he said they were so instrumental is because Netanyahu made some concessions that he didn't want to make. And that helped put the deal over. And Hamas made some concessions that they didn't want to make. And we finally got a deal. But as Bill just said, in front of us is phase 2. And remember, Hamas took these hostages for one reason and one reason only, to guarantee their survival and use it as leverage to get the Israelis out of Gaza. They will go down to the wire holding on to that reality, and that's what makes phase 2 so challenging. Those two things are tensions that come together. Israel wants to continue to destroy Hamas, wants to stay in Gaza. Hamas wants Israel out of there.
Wow. Remarkable stuff. 4 days ago, you were at Mar-a-Lago with the incoming president. I don't know if it was China or Russia or Iran or North Korea or radical Islam, but where was his focus on Thursday?
Well, he's very much aware of the major geopolitical strategic change that has taken place in the world since he was president. And it was just everything that you just mentioned. It's the nexus of those 4 countries, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, coming together and collaborating, taking advantage of what they perceived in these 4 years to be American political leadership weakness, a lack of will to confront them. They thought they could get away with it. It's not an isolated event. There's war in Europe. There's war in the Middle East. And President Xi had stepped up his game with increased aggression and intimidation in the Pacific. All 3 of those things are happening because the United States no longer has the deterrence it used to have. That means political will, and your adversaries believe that you're willing to confront them. Rhetoric, cheap. Your adversaries have got to believe that in your head, they're coming for you. And that has not been the case during these 4 years, and that's why we've seen this aggression and the success that they've had at the expense of the United States. The second thing is you've got to have the capability and certainly believe that we're going to use it. They know full well, particularly China, that our military capability has eroded. We're not the same military we used to be. Nobody in administration is going to admit that, but you'll put the facts on the table, it is. So we got to restore deterrence is the word we use here. And I think it's already beginning, and the president hasn't taken office yet. It's quite remarkable.
Part of that is technology, right? And in terms of artificial intelligence. And it feels like every day I read another headline about how China is ahead of us on defense technology. Can we catch up?
Yeah. I am so glad you brought that up. I mean, China has outpaced us militarily. You name the platform, they've got many more of them, and they've caught up to us in quality in most of them, except for submarines. But look, they have state-run capitalism, which means the government controls everything. They control entrepreneurship. We have a democratic-driven capitalism in our country. We can outthink these guys. We can outwit them. We can out-innovate them, Dana. And we got to harness this commercial sector, the non-defense commercial sector. That capability is there. We've got to get it into our defense sector, break down the rules, the regulations, all the things that stop that from happening. And hopefully we can get that done in short order. It's not enough just to give the Defense Department more money. They need it. But we need to use that money considerably more wiser than what we've been doing.
Remarkable images come out of Israel right now, the meeting point for these 3 Israeli women. And wow, what a moment. And hopefully we have many more moments like this in the days and weeks to come out of Israel. A moment ago, you said part of it is already beginning. Define which part is already beginning.
Political will. It's not an accident that these wars didn't start when President Trump was in power. They knew because of the evidence of his 4 years that he's willing to confront them. And the evidence was clear. And Putin wasn't coming across that border because he knew he was going to get confronted. So that I think all four nations that have this nexus that has come together are all reassessing their own objectives and goals that they had established, and much of which they have had some success with over the last 4 years since the election. And I'm not Pollyannish about this political thing. I'm Pollyannish about the fact that we're going to restore American deterrence and American capability, and we're coming into a presidency where the president understands what the threat is and is willing to confront that threat. And remember, what we are talking about here, so our viewers don't misunderstand, we're not talking about going to war. We're talking about preventing war. Preventing war by making certain that people understand we're not even going to let them get away with the little things that go into much bigger things. And before you know it, you're on the cusp of a war. That there is political will there, willingness to confront them, not just militarily, but confront them economically, confront them with better technology, actually take advantage of what America truly stands for, and harness all of that capability. You put it all together economically, diplomatically, technologically, and militarily, nobody can stand up to us. Nobody can
General,
stand
thank
up.
you so much. It's great to have you with us today, and thank you for passing the word that the news that you broke here. And earlier today, the president said he wants to go to China in his first year.
Yeah,
and that would be remarkable, too. Thank you, sir, very much.
Great to have you. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.